What's up, everyone? And you are watching What's Up, Ryan? Guys, today we are going to be covering the magic of Binance. Like, why is BNB just continuously on a tear and just bringing in so much money into the market on its own? Now, we're going to be observing the tweets from we're going to be observing the marketing strategy that CZ has been adopting. What is the business strategy that Binance has been adopting to aggressively bring attention to itself? And that is like one of the key things. As we all know, on this channel, we are all about educating the masses about investing in crypto and trading crypto, but we also look at the business aspects, the fundamentals, and of course millionaire mindset. Like, how is it that businesses in this space are thriving? How are they developing? How are they building a community? Which companies are not doing the right things? Are they ethical or not? Right now we're going to be covering all that. I want to be covering Binance today and CZ at the helm. How has he been driving all this attention? I think it goes without saying that right now, if we look at his Twitter, right? If you look at his Twitter, I'm gonna be bringing this to your attention, guys. So let's just start with CZ. CZ is someone who is very vocal, very social. Okay, and I think this is one of the key aspects, right? Especially when you build a personal brand, a business. Think about it this way. Let's start from the Binance platform first. When Binance was first launched, honestly, was it really very different from Poloniex? Was it very different from Bittrex? Was it very different from a lot of other exchanges? Sure, interface-wise, there wasn't much to shout about, because personally, when I looked at it, it was okay. But they did introduce something very unique. So let's go to the Binance website and let me show you what was the difference. Okay, so when the Binance website was launched, right, they had this promotional boxes here. Okay, that was one. Okay, and when they had this on the website, right, it kind of drew attention, and it was not something different. It's not very unique, but because of that, right, and the market was still so young at the time, and they were very aggressive in listing coins. This is one of the key factors that really attributed to the fast growth, okay, and success of the Binance coin. Okay, in Binance platform. Then they did something really special, which was to launch a Binance coin, an internal token. Was Poloniex having it? No. Was Coinbase having its own coin? No. Was Gemini having its own coin? No. Was Bittrex having their own coin? No. No way to share revenue, right? And the market clearly knows that I cannot always be trading all the time, okay? There are people who are just wanting to enjoy, and hopefully and those people, especially investors, right, can enjoy a so-called a share of something, a share of profit, a share of revenue. And that was what Binance did. Binance created a coin that would be obviously had some promotions. So if you are using the Binance platform, you can use, firstly, let's talk about the use cases. See, I'm actually quite excited, because there's a lot of things that you can talk about when it comes to Binance, and I think a lot of exchanges these days are trying to follow suit and copy and kind of tweak and have their own mechanics to kind of attract the users, but it's gonna be an uphill climb for them. And this is something that we have to pay respects to this, give kudos and credits to Binance. So the Binance token, right, gave discounts to whoever was using or trading on Binance. Very straightforward. I buy the Binance token, it will help me offset, I think, up to 50% at the time. Or was it either 50% of the trading fees, and then I think it was as high as 70% at one time at the beginning. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, they created a referral program. So one layer of referral, you put out your Binance link. I think a lot of marketers, especially if those who want to earn an extra income at the side, all they had to do was just talk about Binance, right? And then put out their Binance referral link, and yeah, whatever whoever anyone who signs up under that link will get a discount for trading. At the same time, whatever amount that is being traded by that person who you referred or signed up with your link, you get to have a percentage of their total trading, right? Their total trading activity. So those who were very aggressive about building their referral base on Binance is clearly were clearly doing very, very well, and that was a form of income despite the fact that they did not have to trade, right? So that was that. Then the third strategy, which I noticed, right? I have not even come to the Twitter shilling and very active on Periscope and whatnot, right? That part we must give it its own section and attention. Let me just talk about the platform first. So after that, you notice that they are launching they have these little boxes that kind of bring attention to the latest promotions, services, bounty, whatever, okay? So it was so interactive and intuitive that as a user, you immediately knew what you needed to drive your attention to for that particular day or whatever. And that was one thing that Bittrex, Poloniex never had, okay? Surprisingly, those platforms coming out from the US were less shilly as opposed to a platform that came out from China, right? This platform, I mean, look, CZ is from China, right? But obviously he has Western influence, hence he is able to converse very well in English, and that also was one of the key drivers. There was no restrictions in the people that were able to do business. Same thing, just to bring some attention, to divert a little bit, you look at Arthur Hayes. Arthur Hayes, being an American, I think he used to be from Goldman, and or one of the banks, right? One of the top banks, moved out, decided to start started the BitMEX platform that allows everyone to start trading and speculating on the futures of Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS or whatever, right? Ripple as well. And it's all functioning outside of the US. Therefore, you allow quite a number of folks to kind of do a VPN, and then they sign up, and then they're able to start transacting. And, you know, even though they so-called restrict US accounts, they can't restrict everybody. And a large part of the market was captured. And trust me when I say this, a lot of US citizens, folks, they don't use Huobi as much, right? They are very familiar with Binance, and everybody uses Binance these days. So when everybody uses Binance, immediately, right, the demand for the token just goes up, and therefore you have this crazy tear, right, that is already back to the 08 before the crash. Okay, are they back to the 2018? Are they back to the 2018 highs? No, they're not. Okay, it's still a long way more, but can you imagine, guys, if you had just doubled down aggressively when this Binance coin hit its low back in December, right? You have already 3x your money. Okay, is Bitcoin doing a 3x? No, it did not. Bitcoin, right, was at the low. So Bitcoin at the low was 3,154. Okay, this is on Bitstamp. Right now, $3,800. Okay, cool. But if you had kind of doubled down and you were always following Binance, right, or you just love Binance so much that you were buying batches at a time at the low, right now you would have already 3x your money. You know, just assume that you're given the same amount of money, and that's just insane. So back to apart from all the shilling and whatnot that has been happening, I think as a CEO, he has been doing a great job, right? He's been doing a great job. obviously there's some flag, there's some hate. There was the data, data being compromised, and he was denying it. But at the same time, he's just so active on Twitter, right? So active on Twitter and just being plain out, saying that wow, Binance is gonna do so well going forward in the future. And it's like these kind of positivity, right, is sometimes what you need when you are running a business. But I would be very, very cautious also on the other hand, because when you are sending a wrong message about your tokens and whatnot, because right now these are not shares, so it seems like there's a large amount of flexibility that is possible around Binance. And Binance has to be very, very careful, because it cannot function in many jurisdictions, okay? But of course, in Singapore, Binance even received some investments when it came to I think their Singapore side. There is a little bit of a collaboration to do crypto to fiat, okay? And it was from one of the Vertex Ventures. Okay, you can go and Google it. I'll put a link to in the description below. Vertex Ventures actually is a subsidiary of either Temasek Holdings or GIC. So from there was an investment. Not clear what was the amount, but Vertex Ventures actually invested in a part of the Binance Singapore. Okay, so that is to help facilitate the crypto to fiat. Okay, and of course, of late, recently, GIC also announced that it raised 300 million for Coinbase. So Singapore has been actually pretty aggressive in putting itself at the forefront when it comes to crypto. Okay, and I think this is something very unique. Obviously, this is all for equity, nothing to do with tokens. And as a country especially a country like Singapore, they tend to take things rather on the slow side. But I'm pretty impressed that they are investing rather aggressively in exchanges. Hence, we ourselves have to identify, and I also want to bring this attention to a lot of people who are watching these days, on why I mentioned revenue is so important. Because without revenue, you cannot justify your coin burn, you cannot justify your airdrops. At the same time, like, why should even companies or projects be even building on you, right? But as an exchange, you are like the gatekeeper. You're the gateway. You also provide access for the market to the particular projects. A project can never have any kind of demand, right, if it doesn't have an exchange to kind of bring up its attention level, its attention value. Because in business, it's all about demand, supply, and at the same time attention. How much attention you have to your business is very, very important. If you fail to have enough attention coming to your business, trust me when I say this, as we do marketing, video production, especially we do media and marketing content for companies, I can say that they are lacking in this aspect. And CZ is someone who does it to a T, right? He's a marketer himself. Clearly, he's a marketer himself. He's well spoken, right? He shares about the platform with great enthusiasm, what developments, and he knows how to get people excited. Whereas if you look at Huobi, unfortunately, right, though revenue-wise, I pretty much can be quite certain that they are both rather comparable. But in terms of the communications, literacy, they write pretty well. But from a shilling standpoint, there's no one like CZ. There's no strong face of Huobi. So I want to take note that I want you to take note that when you start putting your money down on a particular token, right, you have to also take note on how are they attracting businesses. So this is a clear example, guys. Although Binance may not be a blockchain solution themselves, they provide blockchain related services. Sure, they created a token of course, with a smart contract platform, which is Ethereum, of course, because Binance tokens are ERC20, right? So, but in terms of the services that they are providing, exchanges for the services that they are providing, new projects that are coming on board, hence the launchpad, hence the Binance DEX, you know. I mean, guys, what's so exciting about the DEX? Haven't we had those before? What about Kyber Network? Where's Kyber Network now? After Ethereum kind of, after Vitalik kind of, you know, said that, hey, you know, I don't want to associate myself with any more projects, because, you know, that kind of caused a lot of misconceptions, and it kind of gave your token a boost, and it was true. Where's the star power? You see, the moment, when at the time Kyber Network was doing pretty well on its own, right? But it had a lot of boost from Ethereum, right? And then after that, when the moment the whole market started to tank, you know, DEXs were like kind of like put aside. It was no longer the shout out, you know, nobody talked about DEXs. But the moment CZ talks about Binance DEX, right, somehow markets started to get excited again. And to me, DEXs are still, it doesn't create much excitement, guys. Seriously, to me it's like a second tier, third tier kind of thing, because liquidity will be bad. You have to make sure that you find people who will support the Binance DEX, or a DEX, right, with enough tokens when people decide to buy, because it's a direct exchange from one wallet to another. There's no centralized wallet. That's what a DEX is. And at the same time, how do you have proper prices that are close together, right? Because every liquidity provider that's selling the tokens, right, will be based on who is the seller. And if I'm a buyer and I'm going there, I'm like, hey, I don't have as much flexibility, I'll just go to the centralized exchange. Even if I have to put my tokens on a centralized wallet, I'll just use that, right? It's just easier, okay? And a marketplace has to be fast, easy, you know, and it has to have variety. And a DEX tends to usually lack in variety, right? It may not lack in price discovery, but it will have probably poor order books. That's usually a given. Will Binance somehow create that life and vibrancy? Because they are going to be charging, I think, a decent amount for people who want to come onto the DEX. And I think it's like probably CZ's idea, or at least Binance's idea, is, okay, you can't afford our listing on Binance, sure, no problem. I'm gonna come out with a DEX, or maybe another tier of an exchange listing, so that you kind of build your reputation. You start off somewhere. So from there, we can kind of incubate you, or kind of help you out to a certain extent, right? As long as you can pay, right? Or as long as you have enough community traction product. I think he tweeted that out once, is that if you have either a community, that means you have utility for your token. That's true. If you don't have a community, you better jolly well have a product, right? And a product that has demand, which is true also. And then after that, last but not least, I think if you kind of don't have both, you have been around a long time and you raised money, that means you are probably not doing too well. And therefore, because he was also addressing why he doesn't give any announcements when they decide to delist the tokens. So his reasoning was, if we gave warnings to people who were delisting, okay, if he gave early warning to people who were going to delist, what would happen is that they would front run the announcement. They would dump the tokens, and therefore, you know, it would affect not only people, the Binance team that are holding the tokens, and at the same time, it will also cause the community of that particular token, of those back holders, to also lose money. So I think it's a kind of a tricky situation. You know, it's kind of a tricky situation, because end up is like he's trying to say that I'd rather have the advantage rather than you. I'm the bloody exchange. You don't get to have the advantage, right? Which is kind of true if you think about it, because if I'm gonna delist you, I have the upper hand, right? And when I'm gonna delist you, people will panic, right? And at least how the chain of command works is this way. I'm gonna delist you, if I give you a fair warning, I'll give you 3 warnings. That means you have a chance to go and dump your tokens 3 times. Okay, or you at least comply. If you're a company that is full of integrity, right, you will comply and start, ramping up your activity. You will probably go and engage market makers or whatever, but maybe you're broke, so you can't engage any market makers. So, things like that, right? And then how it works is this way. If a delisting is gonna happen, obviously the exchange gets to dump first, or at least anything that if the exchange does even have your token, right? If the exchange doesn't hold the tokens, then cool, so be it. But let's just assume that they do hold a certain amount of those tokens, right? So they can dump first, followed by the community, because the announcement will come, and any community member who sees that announcement like, shit, my token is going to get delisted from Binance, I'm going to dump, obviously, right? Because it's going to cause a negative. Then comes the platform themselves, because, or maybe simultaneously, it depends on how active the social media team is, or how how much attention are they paying to the exchanges. So these are the things that that will happen. So like I said, CZ is someone who just knows how to bring attention to themselves. And now the token burn. The token burn part about Binance is a little bit, it's not very transparent, because Binance doesn't put out any numbers. It just announces a little bit, and you don't even know whether the numbers are legit. Honestly, nobody can tell, right? It's a private company. It's a privately held company at the end of the day. So there's no obligations to be transparent about their finances. I be very honest, it doesn't allow them. It is not a requirement. Okay, it is not a requirement to show you that how much money we are making, how much is our operational cost, how much are our losses even, right? As long as I keep up this love, right? And people love it when you make money for them. Okay, honestly, what is Binance doing out of the extraordinary? Honestly, nothing much. It's just for the fact that they know how to drive attention, since they can the communication can both be in English and Mandarin. And if you go and look at Binance's traffic, majority of the traffic is actually from tier 1 countries, and you already comb the market already. And this is one thing that's very, very important when you start a business, especially if you're an ICO. You probably want to learn. You want to learn how this man is actually building up the mixture of hype and drawing so much attention to the tokens. And this is what I mean by true utility. He did mention that with Binance tokens, you can book hotels, book flights, buy stuff. How true is that? I think I did see a little bit of news around that, but I didn't really see a whole lot of news. So it's like, it's kind of creating its own internal system within the crypto space, and also making efforts outside of the crypto space as well. And of course, like I said, developments happening within the ecosystem, helping projects, so-called supporting them, giving them eyeballs. And yeah, I mean, as a project, right, I'll be like, yes, Binance, please help me out. The moment that I'm on your platform, naturally I get more credibility. It's true. It's just like when traditional companies want to list on Nasdaq, right? Because Nasdaq is one of the top exchanges by infrastructure and by name, by brand. The moment you are listed, you're like, oh man, wow, this company that I didn't know is going to be listed on Nasdaq, right? And from then, whether they become part of the DAO, or whether they're the S&P 500. Usually it's obviously S&P 500, because it depends on the market cap, and how much are they raising at the IPO, or successfully completed their ICO, right? So completed their IPO. So all these things are factors. Okay, so take note, guys. This is how a business can be run, right? Sure, there are people who are saying best practices. Like I said again, let's set aside that big companies will always have shit. Okay, continuously. Look at Facebook. Look at Google. Look at Apple. Everyone has shit. Everyone has skeletons in the closet. It's just a matter of how well you hide it. In this space, right? in crypto, it's not so easy to hide your dirty laundry. Okay, it's not so easy to hide when some data leak happens, and most of the time it's always about being hacked, your data being compromised, you know, some shit like that. It depends. I can't really think of all the different scenarios, but what I'm just saying is that in this space, because information travels so much faster and there is no control, right? Right now, it seems to be, it's possible to have people internally leaking this news, and then after that, someone from a website that is having great journalistic skills happens to come across a piece of information. Just recently, Crypto Chico even had probably the project themselves that was applying for listing on Binance. I'm sure you caught that episode. Kudos to Crypto Chico for kind of mentioning that, right? Because he focuses on controversy, and you know, he's being very honest with his audience, and so you know, Binance kind of like brought in a project, or at least was willing to look at a project. But after that, they started asking a lot of questions about their DEX, because this particular project was actually launching their own DEX, and I think Binance didn't have the idea of how to really run the DEX from a technical standpoint. Maybe they had the bare bone, but they didn't have the full mechanics. But this particular project kind of was asked a lot of sensitive questions about their DEX. And so from an exchange standpoint, it seems like, oh, you know, not a problem, right? I'm gonna be asking you how your DEX performs. It becomes very, very technical. Nothing to do with how much community members you have, you know, what's your business strategy. You know, to me, I think that is more of a concern, and the questions that would be geared towards your go-to market strategy, rather, and how much you have done so far, how much have you raised so far. I think all these questions are not too bad, but the questions that were stated in that particular video were very technical, focused on the DEX. So Binance, I'm not sure eventually did Binance list them. I think to me, it's like, if you ask so many technical questions, right, the very least you could do is list them, right? And then from then, at least everyone, the reason why the information was even leaked to Crypto Chico was for the fact that they were not able to, they were probably pissed off that in the end, hey man, I didn't even get a listing. You asked all these questions and I didn't even get listed. This is probably how I would think. I wouldn't mind working with CZ, right? Especially, I'm a business person, right? As long as mutually we benefit. You want to know how I run my DEX? Sure, no problem. But after I give you so much information and you probably cut me off and you kick me to the side of the road, I think that's just kind of, yeah, I don't know why that happened. I really don't know, because these things are probably very sensitive and internal, but this is kind of like how I perceive, and this is just my personal opinion. I may be wrong, but it's just my personal opinion. Anyway, folks, just wanted to share and give you a little bit of a rant on how I think and why Binance is so in demand at the moment. I think they'll continue to dominate when it comes to exchanges, right? And all the other exchanges are now trying to find their way around and find and fight in their own demographics. I mean, right now Binance is really one of the largest. It seems to do no wrong, or even if it does anything wrong, it's just like anything that lands on its side, it will just like flick it aside, flick it like a bug, nothing, right? So yeah, who knows? Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. If you felt that this video was helpful to you, it was of value to you, sorry it was a little bit fast, a little bit ranty, a little bit too long, but I hope that it gave you some insight, some value on how you can evaluate a company, right? Evaluation of a company is very, very important. These are the key things that we look at when we are evaluating. Also, at the same time, feel free to join us in the CG Protégé. We have the CG Protégé group where we are going to be launching lots of news, insights, and of course, trade recommendations for folks who are just too busy to pick up news in and around the space. Links are in the description below. Last but not least, guys, give this video a thumbs up. It would really be very helpful, and subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell so that you do not miss the next stream. Right now, I think people are missing my stream because the notification bell isn't going off. Even when you did click the notification bell, you still don't receive the video. So I have no idea what's going on. But guys, stick with the channel. You're going to be learning a lot. You're going to be making more and more well-informed decisions. I think that's what it's all about in the space. We notice that the market is starting to stabilize. We're very excited on the next few quarters in 2019. See you guys.